Hello everybody, my name is İrem. I am a Master of Arts student in Çanakkale, Onsekiz Mart University, Department of English Language Teaching, and this is my research project prepared for SPSS applications in language research course for master degree, and titled as Pre-Service Language Teachers' Reflective Thinking Tendencies and Their Attitudes Toward Teaching Profession. And I just want to start with my outline. First of all, I will introduce my research problem, problem statement and research problem with the aim of the study and the research questions. And then I will introduce my methodology part with its design, setting, and participants, instruments, and data analysis. And then I will show my findings with the tables, and then I will discuss these results, these findings with relevant literature, and then I will conclude my study with some implications. So now I will get into more details. According to the Crandall and the other educators, there's a shift from the positivist-oriented perspectives to the constructivist perspectives. With this way, teachers have different roles because they are liberated now with the constructivist perspectives. They have a different role, such as decision maker, both for their educations, for their professions, and also their educational settings. Therefore, there is a need for analyzing these roles, especially from the very beginning of the profession. So, from this perspective, it can be said that our research problem leads us to examine pre-service teachers' reflective thinking tendencies for generating new concepts in this issue. And the study aims to investigate the relation between their reflective thinking tendencies and their attitudes toward teaching profession with gender variable. With this aim, our research questions are: first of all, what is the level of EFL pre-service teachers' reflective thinking tendencies and their attitudes towards teaching profession? Secondly, are there any correlation between EFL pre-service teachers' reflective thinking tendencies and their attitudes toward teaching profession? Thirdly, are there any significant difference between female and male pre-service teachers in terms of reflective thinking tendency? And finally, are there any significant difference between female and male pre-service teachers in terms of their attitudes toward teaching profession? In accordance with these research questions mentioned, the research was designed as quantitative, non-experimental, and it is a descriptive study with the single and the correlational scanning models. Also, the study is held in Çanakkale Onsekiz Mart University Education Faculty with 71 English Language Teaching Department pre-service teachers. From these participants, while 50 of them are female, 21 of them are male participants, and their age range is between 20 and 29. For this study, it was used reflective thinking tendency scale developed by the Semerci, teaching profession attitude scale developed by Çetin, and finally personal information form prepared by the researcher of the study for the demographic information, including gender and class information of participants. As it's seen, their reliability coefficient values are high, therefore it was used these scales for obtaining reliable data. When looking at the data analysis in accordance with the study's research questions, for the first research question, it was utilized by the descriptive statistics. For the second question, research question, it was utilized by correlational statistics. For the third and the fourth research question, it was utilized by the independent sample t-test. And in here, you will see findings and discussion with relevant literature. And as you see in here, Table 1 shows pre-service teachers' reflective thinking tendencies and their attitudes toward teaching profession with mean values and standard deviation. Both scales are 5-point Likert type, and they were analyzed over 5 points. When looking at their reflective thinking tendency mean scores, it can be said that their reflective thinking tendencies is on the level of agree, which is high, and when it's looking at the attitudes toward teaching profession, their mean scores of their attitudes is at average level. Let's look at the in relevant literature. In relevant literature shows that there are studies showing similarities on the level of pre-service teachers' reflective thinking, which is high. And also there are studies showing the similarities in terms of their attitude level. Their attitude level is moderate and on the agree level. For the analysis of the second research question, it was utilized by the Pearson correlation bivariate, and Table 2 shows that there is statistically significant correlation between the reflective thinking tendencies and teaching profession attitudes. As you see in here, p-value is on the level of 0.0. So this result is also consistent with some relevant literatures also. When it came to the gender variable with these two variables, for the analysis of the third and the fourth research question, Table 3 shows independent sample t-test results, and they indicate that while there is a statistically significant difference between female and male participants' attitudes towards teaching profession with small effect size, there is no statistically significant difference between male and the female participant reflective thinking tendencies. In relevant literature, there are studies showing consistency with current study in terms of reflective thinking tendency. Also, there are studies showing similar results in which female counterparts showing similar results in which female participants outperformed their male counterparts regarding their reflective thinking tendencies scores. However, there are also studies in which male participants are dominant with their reflective thinking tendency scores. Also, in relevant literature, in relation to pre-service teachers' attitudes toward teaching profession, there are studies supporting the findings of the current studies result, which are indicating female participants are significantly higher than male participants. However, there are studies indicating also that there is no statistically significant difference between male and female pre-service teachers' attitudes. Although there are few studies, results show that male participants' attitude scores toward teaching profession is higher than female. To conclude, at the end of the study, it can be said that the current study aimed to investigate pre-service teachers' reflective thinking tendencies in relation to their attitudes toward teaching profession. Additionally, it aimed to analyze these two variables according to the gender issue. With these aims and the findings of the study, these following conclusions can be drawn. So, first of all, it can be said that there is a significant positive correlation between reflective thinking tendency and teaching profession attitudes. Therefore, it should be mentioned that this is a meaningful input for teacher educators in terms of educating teacher candidates to be reflective and express more positive attitudes towards teaching profession. At the same time, while there is no significant difference between female and male pre-service teachers in terms of their reflective thinking tendencies, female pre-service teachers outperform their male counterparts in terms of their attitudes toward teaching profession. Therefore, it can be ensured that teacher candidates cultivate positive attitudes toward teaching profession, and through reflective thinking and practices, they can actively participate in this profession with self-improvement. Self-improvement is an important issue in here. And also, gender issue may not be an implication for this profession because there are studies showing different results. And no matter they are male or female, it should be basically focused on the quality of teaching profession, actually. When it's come to the implications, it can be context-based and it should be investigated in different educational contexts. Therefore, there's a need for more sampling and the different context-based studies. And also, teacher educators can integrate and impose their reflective practices to pedagogical courses in the field. With this way, they should support the field by revealing in what level pre-service teachers are using these practices. Finally, it can be said that pre-service teachers can improve their future teachings and develop more positive attitudes toward teaching profession, no matter they are male or female, through reflection. And thank you so much listening to me. If you have any question about research study, please feel free to contact